Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back. We have another hot, sticky, humid day going on, so what better to do than come out and work on a stinking diesel truck? I guess, maybe. Anyway, tonight is destruction night. We're going to, I don't know why I'm doing that. I can do this. Tonight is destruction night. We're going to be tearing a lot of things off of the truck. Just make everything just look a little bit better. I have had for a while some exhaust manifold studs that I've been wanting to put in and get rid of these ugly spacers. I really don't like the look of them. I want to get rid of them and go with the studs that I have. So tonight I'm going to be pulling off the turbo. The exhaust manifold, I want to get it wire wheeled and painted up, make it look a little bit nicer. Throw some paint on the block on the back side so it looks a bit nicer up and through here. Going to put some tape on the valve cover. That's not staying for much longer, hopefully. Got some stuff that I've been working on behind the scenes. I'm hoping to possibly do something and show you guys something real soon that everybody that has a second gen is going to want. So anyway, right now all I've got to do tonight is get everything tore apart, get that cleaned up, and at least like to get it painted tonight is my goal. So when you're taking that off, I'm not sure what size it is. I know believe if I remember right, they are metric. Those are a 13 millimeter to get those bolts off, your factory bolts off with the spacers in them. So to take this off, you gotta pull your oil line off, your feed and your return. Probably, I don't know if I'm gonna pull everything off together. Turbos and the exhaust manifolds are pretty heavy to take them off together, so I might pull the turbo off first and then take the exhaust manifold off, just because everything's so heavy. If I had my engine hoist, I would be able to do that, just put a strap around the turbo and just pick everything out in one unit, but since I don't, I'm going to be doing things separately. What I also would like to do is get everything washed up in here and get rid of some of the oil residue. If you can see, I'm not running a puke tube, so it's just, you know, just a little bit of oil spatter up there and then it runs down and runs all over. Such is life, I guess. Might pick up some new wire loom too, reloom some of these wires, make it look a little bit nicer. This stuff has got, you know, 200,000, this stuff has 200,000 miles on it and it's just getting old and brittle. And all right, so the first thing I'm gonna work on is getting these boots off and this elbow here. Well, as you can see from the video clips and the bench right there, it didn't go as according to plan, like always. So I had to pull it off all in one unit. What the problem I was running into is this 15 millimeter back here, the corners are just rounded off just a little bit and I couldn't get a good enough bite on that nut to get that off there without completely rounding it off. So now that I have it to the bench, I'm going to try and get it off that way. Hopefully that one should come out no problem, but I do want to separate the turbo from the exhaust manifold so I can get it cleaned and painted up. Okay, so I was able to separate the turbo from the manifold. The manifold's laying over there. I'm getting ready to start wire wheeling it. What I had to do is actually take my vice grips and clamp that on there as tight as I could. You can see how those are rounded off on a couple of corners. I'm gonna go pick up some new nuts and tomorrow figure out what size I need to get, and they're probably a metric. If I had to say, they're like an M12 by 1.5. kind of the way it looks. That's what actually the studs are for the manifold gasket, or sorry, the exhaust manifold. So I imagine those are probably the same thing. I am going to go ahead and separate this too while I have everything apart, and I'm going to take the cartridge out and do some inspection here. Got quite a bit of oil in the compression side, so I'm wondering if I blew some seals on a couple of those times where I'm hitting almost 50 pounds of boost. Looking at my wastegate, it looks like it's probably damaged. This truck has a Carley suspension in it, and it has the shock tower switched out in it, so I would imagine when they put those in, whoever put the Carley lift on it may have beat the side of the wastegate to try and get it in there, so I really don't know. So we're gonna have to pick up a new wastegate and get that ordered, because I really need to drive my truck this weekend. Anyway, so got to get a new wastegate ordered and get it probably overnighted, because I wanted to put this back together tomorrow, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. There's also another thing from Heath Diesel, and I want to try and get in contact with them to see if it's available for the S300. It's available for the HX35 and the HX40 and things like that, but if you go to heathdiesel.com, I think is what it is, they have an adjustable wastegate, and I may try and find one of those and put on there, see if it's available for the S300, and see if I can possibly get that overnighted. So I just need to find their number and get them called. All right, after taking the turbo apart, I got it all separated into all three pieces there. I don't know where I laid the other piece, but anyway. You got the cartridge all separated from the compressor housing and the turbine housing. The turbine housing I have laying over there on this is my walkabout platform. I don't know if you guys have ever saw those on Instagram or not, walkabout platforms, that's mine. But I got the turbine housing sitting there, got it cleaned up just a little bit. After pulling my compressor wheel off, you can see just a little bit of oil on there. I have wiped some of it off, and I did pull the cartridge off, and there was just a little bit of oil on the bottom seal. So I think I have blown the seals up, so I need to get a rebuild kit ordered, or I don't think I have any parts. I have these parts left here. It's just O-rings is the only thing I'll be putting in it. I don't think I've hurt I'm pretty sure I haven't hurt the journal bearings or anything like that. The only thing I've done is blown the seals. I'll probably put it, because I have to drive it, I'll probably put it back together, see how it does, and go from there. Put the compressor wheel back on there. And these are a right-handed thread, so it's lefty tighty and righty loosey. Everything is backwards, and these are right about 13 foot-pounds, I believe, is what this nut gets torqued at, so it doesn't get tightened up very tight at all. You just need just a little bit on there. I don't have a torque wrench that is left-handed, so I just kind of got to go by feel. And that feels pretty good there. Got good free travel. If you tighten it up too tight, it will put a bind on those bearings and it won't spin very good. So that's one way you can check it also. It seems to spin pretty free. Another good thing, good practice, is to put some Loctite on there. Just use blue Loctite. That way it's not permanent. You can get it apart again if you need to. But we'll take this and set it down in the compressor housing so it stays safe and it doesn't fall over and hurt any of the fins. One thing I am going to have to do, I got one hole on the compressor housing that the threads are missing on. There's two ways you can fix that. I can either drill it out and put a 3/8 in there, which is going to be perfectly fine, or you could drill it out even bigger and put what's called a helicoil on there. Helicoil in there, and what that does is that replaces the threads that was taken out of there. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm just going to drill it out just a little bit bigger and put a 3/8, tap it with a 3/8 metric and standard tap sets. So it's not a big deal. I'm just going to drill it out, like I said, and make it a 3/8. Now what I'm going to do is I did check the wastegate. The wastegate is working, but you know, that is caved in pretty good on that side. So it is going to probably require a new wastegate. I can probably put it together this way, but the way my shock towers are inside the truck, I'll play havoc trying to get that wastegate changed with the turbo back in the truck. So probably gonna order one of those overnight and get that coming. Alright, as you saw, I got that all cleaned up and got that all painted up, and it looks pretty good. Just gotta wait for that to dry, probably overnight. I'll hang it someplace. I got my paint booth set up right there, and everything turned out pretty good. I did pick a, what color is it? Where's my paint? This is what I'm using to paint that exhaust manifold. It's the VHT flameproof paint, and this is the flat black is what I picked up. I have used this before, again on my Harley. I made my own pipes for it, and this is what I used to paint the pipes on my Harley. And it actually held up remarkably well. So that's what I picked up again to paint this exhaust manifold, hoping it does the same thing. You know, these BD Power exhaust manifolds are a cast piece. They just, I don't know, it just didn't, the coating on it just didn't last very well, I don't think. I don't know how long it's been on there, because again, this is a part I did not install on a truck. So I have everything masked off. EGT probe, turbo flange, all my manifold flanges, I have all those masked off. I'll pull and cleaned up, I'll pull those off. What I'm gonna use to put everything back together, I have the multi-layer steel exhaust manifold gaskets. I think I picked these up and ordered them in from Advanced or AutoZone, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, they were the cheapest. If you want to write that down or pause the screen so you can write that down, that's what they are. I'm pretty sure I ordered those from Advanced. And these here were sent to me by ARP. Try them out. They are an exhaust manifold stud. Inside in the block is a M10 by 1.5, and out is an M10 by 1.25, and they are a 12-point nut. So those will get threaded into the block, and then you can slide your exhaust manifold over that and tighten everything up right around to 50 foot-pounds. I just think it'll be a nice look with the 12-point, as you can't see very well, and just trying to make things look a little bit better underneath the engine compartment. You know, I've got all my red going on, and I just want to make everything else look good. As far as the turbo, I need to get some parts ordered for the turbo and try and get them here by Friday and go from there. So I guess for tonight, that's pretty much all I have for you. If you don't mind, hit that like button, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not already done so, and we will talk to you guys later on. Bye-bye.